Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Genus Power Infrastructures Limited Q1 FY22 earnings conference call. This conference call may contain forward-looking statements about the company, which are based on the beliefs, opinions, and expectations of the company as on date of this call. These statements are not the guarantees of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties that are difficult to predict. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Kailash Agarwal, Vice Chairman of Genus Power Infrastructures Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to Q1 FY22 earnings call of Genus Power. With me is Mr. Jitendra Agarwal, Joint Managing Director of the company, and SGA, our Investors Relations Advisor. The results and investor presentations are uploaded on the stock exchange and company website. I hope everybody has had a chance to look at it. The company has recorded a sales of 130 crores for this quarter as compared to rupees 84 crores in Q1 FY21. Our growth was severely hampered due to delay in inspections, subsequent delay in dispatches to SEBs on account of COVID-19, which is affecting all of us and leading to a great disruptions and a big disruptions. We expect a healthy volume of take in coming months with the business environment now getting normalized, with increased relaxations and lockdown being granted by various state governments. For Q1 FY22, EBITDA profits stood at 5 crores as compared to loss of 1.7 crores in last quarter, that is quarter 1 FY21. The operating margins are also lower on account of higher employee expenses and steeper raw material prices. We are very hopeful that this will be normalized in second half of this financial year. Profit after tax stood almost negligible at 0.1 crores as against a net loss of 3.4 crores in Q1 FY21. Cash PAT stood at 4.5 crores against almost negligible 0.2 crores in Q1 FY21. Our current order book stood at rupees 978 crores, which gives a visibility of growth over next 2-3 quarters. You will see that from last quarter it has grown. It has grown by a little bit, but still it has grown. The most significant development for the smart metering industry was obviously the approval of the 3.3 trillion power distribution companies reform scheme, namely reform-based result-linked power distribution sector scheme. In this revamped distribution sector, about half of the total funds of the scheme, that is about 1.5 trillion, are to be deployed for installation of smart meters. I hope that
The line for the management is disconnected. Kindly stay on line till I reconnect them. gentlemen, we have the management line reconnected to the call. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how it got disconnected. So I was talking about the new significant development that has happened in smart metering, and the government, central government has come with a scheme. So all of you or most of you must have gone through the scheme or must have seen the scheme. So it's always better for us to make you understand. You ask the questions and we clarify on that. I welcome question and answers.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking this question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Nisha Savla from Arya Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. So my first question is, I wanted to know how much growth in revenue can we expect in FY22, and can you also provide a ballpark figure of revenue which we expect to achieve in FY23?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, this is Jitendra Agarwal this side. And for 2022, the ballpark figure would be anywhere around 700 to 800 crores. 800 is quite achievable.
And so for FY23?
And for FY23, the way the company and the way the business is picking up, which I expect a lot of work will come by the end of this year because the scheme has been now approved and it has been done in the right way. I am very hopeful that for next financial year, it can be anywhere from 1300 to 1500 crores.
Okay, sir. And so how has been the DISCOMs and state government responded to the passage of reforms based on resolving power distribution sector schemes? Are there any political interventions, especially from state ruled by opposition parties?
No, there is absolutely nothing like that. If you see, this scheme is very, very helpful for the state utility boards. So they were looking at this very, very closely, and this scheme is not being only given by the central government. The beauty of this scheme is it has been worked very closely by the central government and the state utilities in building this scheme and building this whole process, how this work will be done. So earlier, when we used to talk about these schemes maybe 3 years back, the central government had in their mind that one size will fit everyone. But this is not the case. In the last 2 years, central government along with the PSU, state utilities, and along with the companies like us has worked very closely to bring this scheme. So with the open arms, most of the states have welcomed this scheme.
Okay. So sir, with passage of the revamped distribution scheme, when can we expect substantial order inflow on account of the same?
So if you understand this scheme currently, initially this scheme has been floated for almost 1.5 to 2 years. A lot of amendments have happened over the period of time with consultation along with the industry and the utilities. If you see that this time, two good things what central government has understood and they have brought in the scheme, one size doesn't fit all. Initially the government was had with their mind only this is the way you have to do, every state has to buy this kind of a smart meter or this kind of process they have to follow. They have completely changed it this time. They have given a bigger picture, a broader aspect that this is the SBD you will have to use and every state can modify it according to their customization. So which is highly welcomed by the state utilities. Second thing, the incentives which was given earlier was only a one particular amount. Okay, we will give you 900 rupees or 1400 rupees for a smart meter. But this time they have also added that if you reduce your losses and use this money and install meters by December 2023 for the 500 Amrut cities, then further you will get an incentive of 500 rupees and 800 rupees. So this is how the scheme has been made more lucrative by the central government. Plus, state government doesn't have to pay anything upfront from their pocket. Everything has to be invested by the
AMISP, the service provider. So that is why I am more than hopeful that this scheme will gain major momentum by the end of this calendar year. The reason I say by the end of this calendar year, because by 31st October, the state utilities has to apply to the central government with their complete conditions. Okay, this is how we want to use this scheme and this is our plan of action. So a lot of action will happen by the end of this calendar year.
Okay, sir. That was helpful. And sir, just one question, what were our receivable days in Q1 FY22? With the implementation of this new scheme, can we expect improvement in our working capital cycle in FY23?
The working capital cycle is definitely going to improve in the next financial year because the whole model of the business is changing, where a lot of investment will be done by the service provider. That surely improves our working capital cycle. And with this scheme implementation, the revenues and the position of state utilities also improves dramatically. This is what we are expecting, and this is what we have seen in 2.5 million smart meters which are being installed in last 2-3 years. It is visible that yes, with installation of these meters, the financial position of the state utilities is changing to a very good side. It will surely improve the health of state utilities, which in turn will improve the health of our working capital.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Suraj Navandar from Prithvi Finmart. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. So what is our current working capital cycle? Hello.
It is almost 200 days. It is absolutely the same. That there is no because of Corona, it got deteriorated a little in last financial year, but it is improving. But right now we feel that this financial year it will be around 200 days.
So what is your targeted what is your target working capital cycle after everything gets done?
Earlier calls also have many times told that there won't be a significant improvement. We can't see it from 200 to 150 days or 140 days. There will be improvement of 10%. Say it can come up to 180 days or 175 days.
Okay. And sir, with the given sort of tailwinds that our industry is seeing now, can we expect some improvement in the margins, not from the Q1 or FY20, I'm saying historical level. So what would be our margins FY23?
I have given earlier also the guidance that it will be around 16 to 70%. These are 1 or 2 quarters which are exceptionally bad because of, but 22 surely will be doing not so bad what we are doing bad in first quarter or what we'll be doing in second quarter. There will be a huge improvement in 22 and 23. It will be surely for 16-17% what guidance we have given earlier.
Okay. And sir, how has been Q2 for us? Whatever, like 1 month, July 1 month has been for us.
Q2, the things have started improving, but Q2 also, as earlier guidance was given, that Q2 also will be not so good what earlier expected.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mohit Khanna from Future Generali India Life Insurance. Please go ahead.
Yes. Hello, sir. I just had a question regarding the market opportunity. So just wanted to have a sense that government has already said that phase 1 they would be targeting 10 crore meters by December 23, if my memory serves me right. So in that scenario, what is the total, market opportunity for you? Because just wanted to see that if you guys are going to maintain your 27% market share, how what could be the scalability of the business from here on?
Yeah, so opportunity definitely on paper it looks very, very large, and it is going to be the reality also. Government is very ambitious when they say December 23, but the good part along with the ambitions, they are given financial incentives to the state utilities to achieve these ambitions. And they have very clearly told, the government made it very clear that this has to be done in the mission mode. And there's a huge motivation behind this. So I am pretty hopeful It is very difficult to say currently that all link roads will be installed by December 23. It is an ambitious target. But yes, if the whole, I would say even 70-80% or even 50% of the same is done, is a humongous opportunity for our industry.
Okay. In that case, sir, what would be a average ASP of the smart meter from your end?
So average, if you see, is a complete solution, end-to-end solution. Why it ranges and it depends on the different specifications and the number of years of maintenance to be done. But generally, it ranges anywhere from 5,000 rupees to 8,000 rupees. So
okay, and the state government
will be ballpark idea of the size of the opportunity.
This is per meter that it will boil down to, right? So, so my point, yeah, okay. So my point is now 5,000 to 8,000. At what price would state government will calculate their incentives? Because is the formula already decided by the center, or it is still in work in progress?
The government has already decided the formula that there are two categories they have created. One is the normal discounts, and one is the discounts which are in the special category, like all northeast states, Himachal, Uttarakhand, all the hilly areas, all the union territories, all the very high loss areas. So government has given two categories, normal category and special category. So in the normal category, you get 900 rupees per point as a grant. Plus, if you are able to install these meters by the end of December 23, you further get an incentive of 450 rupees. So 1,350 rupees is the straight away you get a grant from the central government, for which you have to just achieve what has been said. And by using these smart meters, they will significantly reduce the AT&C losses. And there will be no capex done from the state utilities pocket, because the whole money is being invested by the AMISP, the service provider. So as such, if you see from the eyes of the chairman of a DISCOM, there cannot be anything better than this, okay, where you have to install meters, reduce your losses, improve your billing cycle, and not a single penny to be spent from the pocket. So it is absolutely fantastic in that sense. And it is practically it is 1,350 rupees for normal category of states, and almost 2,000 rupees for the special category of states. So it makes a lot of sense for them.
Okay. So finally, the money for each installation of the meter, money will not be paid by the consumer. Consumer will not pay any additional money, right?
Neither the consumer will pay the money nor the utilities. Utilities will pay as a rental per meter per month basis.
That they will charge. That they will charge the consumer.
No, they will not charge from the consumer. That will be given from the pocket of the utility. But the amount of savings they will do, it is absolutely, for them it's a no-brainer.
And what is the entity that you just named who will put up all the capex? AISMP.
The AMISP, Advanced Metering Infrastructure Service Provider, even GENUS will play that role. So GENUS will play both the roles, where they will they will themselves do AMISP and they to AMISP as a manufacturer.
So now, so that is the point, sir. If you are going to play that role of capital expenditure in the scheme, then what gives you confidence that your working capital cycle would improve? Because state ultimately the money has to be paid by the state electricity boards only. They are just not paying upfront, but over a period of time they will pay.
That is basically they are not paying us. It will be a rental model. The money will be coming on monthly rental models from 6 to 8 years, depending on tender to tender. So it might be even 8 to 10 years. So basically the only rental is to come. There won't be any upfront payment. Any capex has to be done by us, and that will be coming back in the form of rentals. And that is secured by sovereign guarantees and escrow accounts and with the LC. So that is absolutely
okay. So that becomes a secure debtors for you.
Yes, absolutely secure debtors, and there won't be any issues of. So basically, we are doing capex, so there won't be any working capital or any that type of things involved in this.
Understood. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Understood. In that scenario, in the scheme, have you been provided any sort of cushion in terms of financing costs coming down? I mean, can you guys also apply, or AMISP guys can also apply for a lower interest rate financing scheme?
Basically, that depends on the rating of the company. Genius is already a A+ rated company, so certainly.
Okay, so there's no special provision for companies to get lower financing, right?
But once your money is secured by so many things, so banks always consider that for a reduction in rates and all.
Fair enough. So bill discounting can always take place.
Yes.
Understood. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We would like to remind participants that you may press star 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Sagar from PricewaterhouseCoopers. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir.
Hello.
We've seen so many schemes being introduced by the government with respect to reforms on the power side. What makes you hopeful and confident that this scheme will help resolve the issues, especially with respect to the DISCOM side?
So one thing to start with, I want to reply this on whatever the schemes government has come over the years, it has definitely improved the situation. We are seeing a very bad situation currently. Just imagine a situation where no schemes would have been there. Maybe the situation would have been much more worse. So saying all the schemes are of no use is very difficult to comment on. And the reason I am very confident that this scheme will be, there is a clear-cut incentive to the state utilities. There is absolutely nothing to lose in this scheme itself, where almost, if you see the overall scheme, almost 20% of the money of the smart meter is paid by the central government as grant. So it is not a loan. And 80% of the remaining money will be financed practically by the AMISP. That there is not a single penny immediate outflow from the pocket of the state government, which has always been the concern to all these utilities because they are always cash strapped. So, and then the beauty is save and pay. And if you see examples of these 2.53 million smart meters installed in India, and that too in the national capital of Delhi, where the losses were absolutely below 10%, even there the payback of these smart meters is not even more than 3.5-4 years, which is what Tata Power has given that white paper multiple times to everyone. See the benefits of a smart meter. So it is, I am more than confident that this scheme will fly very high.
So, sir, if I look at the opportunity unfolding in front of us over the next 3 years, what number of smart meters can potentially, what kind of orders that potentially can accrue?
So, as I told, I've given the idea that next financial year we expect 1,300 to 1,500 as our top line.
Right.
But it can be, it is very difficult because if you do mathematics, then these numbers can be very high. But at the end of the day, you are always in a vulnerable society, you are always in a volatile world. So everything cannot be mathematics only.
Sir, my last question to you. Considering this scheme, do you see pressure on realization and margin?
So definitely there is a pressure on margins in the current state of affairs because it's been almost 1.5 years where the industry has seen difficult times. But with this opportunity unfolding and the amount of number meters going to be bought in next 2 calendar years, the margins will be very well maintained. What used to be 1.5 years back, or it can be even better.
Got it. Any number to it in terms of margins?
So our vice chairman gave that idea in the con call itself. We will be able to maintain 16-17% in next financial year.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amish Kanani from JM Financial Services. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. Sir, if you can update us with, the tender pipeline. You said last quarter that maybe 3,000 crores were already floated and about 7,000 crores plus was likely to be floated. So if you can give us some update there, what's happening there? And is it in line with our expectation or it's getting delayed further a bit?
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Konani, but there is a disturbance coming from your line, sir.
Yeah, we understand that you are asking for the tender pipeline. This is what opportunity pipeline.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So as I gave the number last time, so it currently stands almost on the same number because nothing majorly has changed in terms of finalization of tenders. So currently also the live tenders are more than 10,000 crores. To be very precise, estimated value of these tenders is 10,200 crores. Out of this, these tenders cover all categories: smart meter on capex, conventional meter, and smart meter on opex. So it can, and to be participated, it has both. I said 10,200 crores. Out of this 10,200 crores, there are two to be participated, and which are all.
The line for the management is disconnected. Kindly
Hello?
stay on line
Yeah.
till I reconnect them.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the management line reconnected to the call. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Hello. So
Yes,
I was
sir.
speaking on the current to be participated and already participated tender. So if I have to number them, already 3,000 crores tender has been participated in last 2 to 3 months, which will get decided in next 3 to 4 months, and almost 7,000 crore tenders will be participated in next couple of months. So 10,000 crores tenders are live as on date.
Okay. And sir, if you can give us some sense of once we win the mandate, what is the typical execution timeline? We have given some order book, in our presentation. But if you can give us some sense of how.
So currently the order book what we have around 980 crores. Out of this 980 crores, only 175 crores is the FMS work, which will happen over the next 5 to 7 years. Rest, rest I would say, remaining 800 crores has to be executed in next 9 to 12 months.
Okay. So, and assuming that our win rate remains the same, this 10,000 crore pipeline would mean additional order book in the current year, which will then be executed over, say, next 12 months, which could be, say, from Q3 of this year to Q2 of next year, right?
I would say from Q4 of, because these tenders are still in the pipeline. By the time they get decided, and then it takes 3 to 4 months for the starting the execution. Because we are into, and electronic components lead time has further increased globally. So the results of these tenders will start coming from, I would, very practically, if you ask me, from Q1 next financial year.
Okay. So when we are talking about on a revenue estimate of 13 to 1,500 crore, we're assuming the win rate of these tenders and then, execution not the same and stuff like that. And as what you said, there could be an upside. And once this scheme is, as you said, will be starting to see, traction by the end of this calendar year. Do you see the tender coming in early part of next year and the same timeline will apply? Or, those are...
Since this scheme, there are two parts to it. One is more or less the AMI-SP document has been done by the utilities. Other is they have to apply to the central government for the grants. So this will happen parallelly. It's not that you get a grant, then only you come out with the tender. So as I currently we are talking to each other, this 6,000 crores OPEX tender will be part of this AMISP only. So they are not waiting for the approval from. They have given timeline till 31st October. We have to apply. Whomsoever is serious about this 10 crore meters by December 2023, and we all understand the way government works. Generally, they don't achieve every timeline, but there and there nahi hai. This is what I can say.
Okay. And sir, one further understanding just to appreciate this better. How do you think this AMSIP, whatever that acronym is, that agency which is going to fund this upfront, how do you think that will, and you said our company also will have a role. So I'm assuming here that whoever wins will have some role in terms of funding. But if you can give us some sense of how the banks will, kind of fund this structure, will there be a tripartite agreement sort of a thing, or will it be a LC discounting sort of a thing, and who will provide the funds upfront? I'm presuming our banking system will apply it because of the sovereign guarantee. But if you can give us some flavor there, that would be helpful. Thanks.
There can be different ways on that. So basically, different people can have different ideas on that. They, like ESL, if we are talking about the government agency, they are getting a lot of funds from investors, and a lot of investors are coming and investing in ESL for these metering businesses and all. Many companies, the bigger companies, they have a big pool of funds, so they are directly coming for the participation and all, IPCL and all. So basically, they have their different. If we talk about Genus Power can go for a debt also, because we are on a very strong balance sheet. Our debt equity is almost zero. We are a net debt-free company. So basically, then we can have some LCs also. So there can be many different models of getting the funds and all. So everybody who will be participating in the tenders, Genus will act as a supplier of the meters also and participating directly for the OPEX model also. So where we are directly supplying meters, how the people are getting their funds is none of our business. But Genus, there are mainly we can rely on the debt and being a very strong balance sheet.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot. The ego also maybe we'll get to know as the quarter progresses. Thanks a lot and all the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rajiv Rupani, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. So now, sir, currently our market share in normal meters is 27%, and in smart meters is about 70%. So this new order which is going to come to us, that's total 250 million smart meters which is going to be installed in over next 5 years. What do you think will be the market share of Genus in the smart meters?
So this 70% is just because very small numbers are there, so that is not a guiding factor. We have been maintaining market share in electricity metering from 25 to 30% over the last 10-15 years. We hope and we will give it our best to maintain this, which is not easy when the size increases so much. But definitely we will aim for our leadership position always. It is very difficult to give a number currently that yes, as a company, as a board, as the top management of the company, we are motivated enough, committed enough, focused enough to maintain our market share.
Okay, and my second question is, sir, now that current tenders which are of about 10,000 crores, in last con call, which is on 31st May, you had guided us that 1,200 crores has been decided, 2,900 crores will be decided, and another 7,200 crores will be decided in the next 30 to 45 days. And just now in the con call, you said it will be decided in the next 2 months. So is there a delay in this?
Almost every tender has been delayed. There are two reasons behind it. Reason number one, this scheme now has made it more clear. Earlier, most of these tenders were coming where there was the ambiguity of the specifications. But there was a lot of murmuring that central government has given the SBD and you have to follow T to T. And now it has been made very, very clear that yes, one size doesn't fit all. There can be customization done by the state utilities. That is a major change that has come up. So a lot of changes will happen in these tenders. So that is the reason I am saying these tenders, which are already to be participated or will be participated, will be happening by the end of this calendar year only.
Okay. And my last question is now, sir, our current capacity is to produce about 10 million meters, and you have said that you can increase it to 15 to 20 million meters. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely. It can be doubled in 4 to 6 months. It's not difficult the way the plant and building and everything has been planned. So our business is a very yo-yo business. There has been, and because of this business being a very yo-yo business and not a very heavy on capex, a good company plans its manufacturing capability in such a way that it can easily undertake 200% of the average. So that is the reason I can very confidently say this company producing 20 million meters is we just need to put our effort for 4 to 6 months and we can do it easily.
So I have a follow-up question. Now, once this 250 million smart meters, which are to be installed over the next 5 years, once these get awarded, so our current capacity will last us how long? And when do you think we need to add new capacity?
So we are closely watching how the market is unfolding. We have been talking about these large numbers from last 3-4 years. So we have to be prudent enough in looking at the market, understanding it, and using our capabilities accordingly. You cannot invest money on capex or at a small capex or planning it when you can't see the market unfolding. And the beauty of our business is it takes minimum 3 to 6 months from the tender to the first supply. So that is a good enough time for us to increase our capacities when we truly are able to see the visibility.
Okay, thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashish Kothi, an individual investor.
हाँ,
Go ahead.
आप जिस व्यक्ति से बात कर रहे हैं.
Hello.
The current participant has placed the call on hold. We would like to remind participants that you may press star 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Nikhil Jain from Galaxy International. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Just wanted to ask, why is management considering to become, let's say, a AMI service provider, right? So that is different from our current business model. Does it give us some hints?
Sir, I can't hear you properly. There is some distance in your line. Hello.
Sorry if there has been any disturbance. I hope you are able to hear me now better.
Yeah, this is better. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was asking the question, sir, that why is the management actually considering to become a AMI service provider where we are financing the meters and taking the risk on ourselves in terms of arranging the money? So does that give us any significant advantage, or is the business being very lucrative, right? So that's what I wanted to know.
No, basically we are not becoming only the meters. We cannot, when there is an opportunity, we have to be looking for both sides. We won't be only a meter capex doing company. We will be supplying for sure. We will be supplying to other companies also. But we have to be in the business also in other ways. So we have to face the competition in both ways. It cannot be like that. We cannot remain as a meter supplier. Because there you don't get a chance for FMS, which is mainly a good margin giving business, and you last for almost 7 to 8 years in that business. And basically your money is secured. The worst part generally dealing with the DISCOM is your money, but here your money is absolutely safe. You are with escrow account and everything. So basically there is no harm in competing in both areas.
Okay. Just a related question. So the FMS part of the business that we have today is roughly around 10%, and we expect it to be around 10%, or with our venture into the AMI FC kind of a thing, will that part of the business increase?
No, that will surely increase.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. I will come back in the.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Urvija from Isha Security. Please go ahead. Ms. Urvija, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead with your question. There's no response from the line of the current participant. The next question is from the line of Nilesh Jethani from Envision Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. So first question was around the 6,000 rupees per unit assumption. So this is the installation plus the meter cost, or it is meter cost which is 6,000 rupees assumed?
No, it is the end-to-end solution cost where it has meter, box, installation, and SMS for 5 years. So it's a ballpark figure. Yeah.
Understood. And so basically, so I believe the business model is where now we would be receiving the money for the meters installed in the next 5 to 8 years, correct?
Yes. So generally, there are two type of tenders which are getting floated, and generally the central government is advising the minimum 8 years of period. So you will have a lot of tenders which will have 8 to 10 years of complete execution cycle.
Okay. So say out of the near-term target, which is around 100 million to be installed by CY23 end, so according to your sense, what would be the breakup between the rental model and direct EPC work?
So this, out of this 100 million meters, almost 75% will be this new model on the OPEX.
Sorry, sir, I missed you. 75?
75% of these meters, I estimate, are going to be on the OPEX model, where the AMI SP is going to invest on the meters, not the state government.
Okay, understood. And I believe in the recent tendering, the approximate cost of the meters came out to be around 25 to 2,800. So going forward, the rate is assumed to be in that range, or you assume further decline in the cost of smart meters?
I've been saying this practically from last 10 years. Meters is like a shirt. It's very difficult to define the price of a shirt. So meter is a very custom built product. It ranges anywhere. If you talk of simple smart meters, and normal smart meter anyways ranges from 2,400 to even 4,000, 5,000 rupees. It is very custom built. There is no way to define that this is the ballpark figure of a particular product.
Understood. And sir, on the commentary on the last call, so last call we said that FY21 saw tenders with around 4,000 crores, and out of which only 1,200 crores were awarded. So balance 1,200 crores were awarded, and balance 2,800 is yet to be awarded. Plus, last 2 years average was 7,200 crores worth of tenders. So this year, probably what we see, 2,800 crores balance figure of last year, plus broadly this year's target of around 3,000 to 4,000 crore new tenders. So 6,800 to 7,000 crore can be approximate size of opportunity for FY22, we can assume.
By the end of this financial year, even I am assuming that these tenders will get decided. And the last year tenders, many have been further postponed. There have been couple of tenders which have been finally been decided by the utilities. No, we are not going ahead with these tenders. We'll come out with new tenders according to the new scheme. So you will see a lot of changes. So exactly taking this number, these 2,000, so 7,000-8,000 crores of tenders will get decided by the end of this financial year is my expectation also.
Understood. And so the last on the operating margin level. So with the current rise in the commodity prices, so current orders what we have in hand, can we expect margins to decline further going ahead?
No, basically if you see in this quarter itself, we are hit by almost 4 to 5% in raw material and commodity prices and all. And so whatever are the old orders, it will be there for coming, say, but from third quarter or fourth quarter, the new orders will also start executing. We will start executing the new orders where we have already taken care of these commodity prices and all.
Understood. So one last thing. So earlier when we were discussing about number of players, so it was more than 15, 18 players in the segment. But now with the change in the model where it is more like an annuity business, where the installation guy or a company would have to wait for 5 years to receive the entire amount. Of course, we'll have some incentives of 1,300 rupees if we complete by CY23. But with the change in the model, do you see the competitive intensity to lower in the sector?
No, competitive intensity will remain the same, but we will have to play our game correctly, which we have been doing over the last more than a decade. And I'm confident that we will be able to sustain our position.
Also, the line for the management got disconnected. Kindly stay on line till I reconnect them. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the management line reconnected to the call. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
I'm sorry to everyone for getting this line disconnected. Though I'm on the landline, still it is getting disconnected again and again. So I apologize for that. So as I was, so I think I completed my statement. So next question, please.
Okay, sir. So basically, I was asking on the competitive intensity. So, what kind of competition you assume? So going forward, when we have tenders,
I am expecting the same kind of competition what it used to be currently. So most of the companies, all good companies, are now moving from conventional meters to smart meters. So competition intensity is going to be same.
But with the amount of investment required from the companies, or say from, for example, from Genus also. So we expect our market share to go down because now we would have a lot of upfront amount to be paid from our side and wait for the amount to come from the DISCOM or the nodal agency at a later period. So we expect our market share to go down in that sense.
Please understand that Genus will play both the roles. In few tenders, we will play the role of AMI SP, where we will take the tenders on rental basis, which needs to be served for 8 to 10 years. And parallelly, we will also become the suppliers to this AMI SP, which is currently also we are doing. Currently, we are supplier to EESL, who is the AMI SP. We are suppliers to IPCL, who is the AMI SP. And at the same time, we are ourselves are doing an end-to-end turnkey projects in Tamil Nadu, in Rajasthan, where it is not a completely on OPEX, it is CAPEX plus OPEX model. So we are already undertaking that. And in future, complete OPEX model will also be undertaken by Genus. So Genus will play its role all across. Second part, Genus is one company which is not only focusing on meters, we are focusing technically also on the end-to-end solution. And currently we are the only company which has its own meters, own HEF, and does the own FMS. So our game is very clear that we will provide end-to-end solutions to the end consumer, to the utility. We are not going to be only a hardware player. We are surely going to be, which we have already started becoming, a software player also. So equal value will be created by doing the end-to-end solution.
Understood. The reason for asking that question was the size of opportunity being quoted in the media of 1.5 trillion. So just in case most of the orders come from the rental route, are the metering company in position to have that kind of amount being invested in next 3 to 5 years? As a result, I was asking that question.
Very frankly speaking, the industry is more than geared up to do this. If this really happens, let's say this 1.5 trillion rupees are spent on this distribution reform in next 5 years, the face of the electricity system in India will change. It will change for far, far better than where we are today. And industry is more than capable of handling this kind of numbers.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Those were my questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rajiv Rupani, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. I have a follow-up question. So once this new smart meter order is awarded to us, so I wanted to understand that out of our current capacity of 10 million meters, I mean, will we shift to making, most of it will be utilized for making smart meters?
Yeah. In our case, because we have one company, most of our products are designed in-house. Nothing we take from outside. And we have a complete backward and forward integration done. So for us to changing these lines, if you see historically also when 2 years back, we started manufacturing smart meters for EESL. Our current lines were converted to smart metering lines, and when EESL and all the testing laboratories visited our lines, they were like zapped what have been created in such a short time. So don't worry on that. These same lines can be used for the smart meters because everything is done in-house, so we know when to change, where to change, and how to change.
Thank you. And one last question on gas meters. The last con call you had updated us in 2-3 months certification will be received by us. So can you give some more information about the gas metering opportunity?
Yes. On the gas metering opportunity, more or less the testing has been completed, and we are very hopeful that in next 30 to 45 days we will have that all the certifications required. And currently also we are participating in gas metering opportunity. We have done some 14,000 numbers also in last 6 to 8 months. And gas metering opportunity is also going to be a fairly good opportunity in next 6 to 8 years. The government is envisaging changing 4.5 crore connections on the gas line. Hello.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yeah, some disturbance. So on the gas meter also, we are fully focused. We are already developed the product. The testing will be completed. Testing is already more or less completed. We should get the certificate in next 30 to 45 days.
Thank you very much. That's it from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vijay Bayani from Samyak Finance. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Can you tell us about the timeline for the proposed demerger and the restructuring of the group companies, please? I don't know if this question was answered earlier, but in case.
Basically, we are just waiting for the SEBI's approval, Vijayji. That is taking too much of time. It's almost because of Corona and all. We were expecting in 2 months, and now it's almost 4 months. So nothing is in our hand. Once it comes, then we will file in NCLT. And then it's a process of almost 4-5 months. So we are very hopeful by
end of 2021.
Yeah, for sure. This year balance sheet will reflect the demerged numbers. We are very hopeful on that. We are expecting this SEBI approval by mid of this month, August month, and then another 4-5 months or 6 months. So we are very hopeful that by end of this financial year, the next balance sheet will be with the demerged numbers.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashit Kothi, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, sir, what I just wanted to understand from whatever conversation I have heard just now, that when we are going to be acting as a providing capital, so what will be our capital requirement as a capital expenditure? And what ratio we intend to maintain? 60-40, 50-50?
So basically, that has to be seen once the things will be maturing. What type of bill, what numbers we are getting from supply of meters, and how much we want to enter in doing the end-to-end solutions and all. So basically, right now we are looking for a 1/3 of business through end-to-end solutions and remaining business from direct supplies.
Okay.
And
so
if
that
we say that we will be doing a business of around 1,500 crores say next year, or 13 to 1,500 crores. So we are targeting a business of 500 crores with end-to-end solutions and all. So if we say 500 crores business, that doesn't mean if we get a business of 500 crores, that doesn't mean it's a meter supply only. Meter supply is only 40% of that, and then it is the installation and 7 to 8 years FMS also involved in that.
Right.
It's not like that if I have picked a business of 500 crores, I will be needing 500 crores immediately within a year's time or 6 months' time.
My fund requirement would be 20% of that?
Yeah, 35 to 40% of the total tender I have won.
All right. That was one. And second, apart from gas meter, are we also planning to go in for or looking at water meters also?
So as a company, we have made our vision very clear that we are what we are. We have redefined ourselves. We are a measurement, communication, and analysis company where we provide end-to-end solution to a utility. And worldwide utilities has always been energy, water, and gas. So energy, we are already there. Gas, we have already ventured in. In water, you will see Genus playing a good role from next financial year. So we are already on the journey we have started the journey of working on the water meters.
Okay, because that's going to be one of the biggest market as far as India is concerned.
Let's hope so.
Okay, and how are we cash availability wise for next 2 quarters, next 1 to 2 quarters? Because
there is a disturbance coming from your line, sir.
Sorry, next 1 or 2 quarters, what will be your cash requirements, and are we prepared for that?
It's a normal cash requirements will be there. We are okay with our working capitals and all, and being a net debt, zero debt company, so we don't have any cash issues, and we are a cash positive company.
This was basically from the point of view of current situation.
Yeah. I'm talking about the current situation only. The last quarter was even worse than the quarters we are expecting to be certainly better than the quarters we have faced last year. So even that time also company never faced any cash crunch or any cash issues, and so fortunately we are very okay that we won't be facing any cash issues for the company.
Right. So we might end up with maybe a marginal cash loss or something in the current quarter, second quarter, by any chance if the situation does not improve much. But that would not pose any issue to us.
No, we are not even in cash loss in first quarter also. There is no cash losses in first quarter also.
But that's a marginal profit, right?
So there is a margin, but if you add depreciation also, the cash profit is 4 crores or 5 crores. So basically, there is no, and company is sitting on a cash of 200 crores. So that's also won't be any challenge.
And our cost of fund is currently at what rate, sir?
Around 7.75%.
Pretty comfortable, I suppose. Okay, right, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
I thank you all for joining the conference, and we, as a management of Genus Power, surely assure you that the things will be improving in from third quarter, and it will be a very good numbers in coming financial in 22-23. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you. On behalf of Genus Power Infrastructure Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.